This is Gigi.
I've got tools here for you as well.
Fuck actually. Yeah. Hit me with some tools. Let's set up our play selves first. Okay. Well, hey, you make really cool art.
Thank you.
Love it. Very cool stuff. It's true. You're studying, hey?
Yes, I'm at National Art School right now. I'm doing my first year there. Woo. Really cool.
Really weird with COVID?
Yeah, so like I went for like 3 weeks and then they were like, sorry, no, go home. And, but like during the time that we were not at uni, we just did like art history and theory online. So we did all of that for the year in like in
those 2 months.
Yeah.
So now you're just practical.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Which has actually worked out really well.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't have to go for like, it would have been 5 days a week, but now it's like 4 to 3 days a week. So good. Yeah, long hours, but it's great. Like,
how have you found the art school process? Like some artists really love it, other artists hate it. What do you
I am actually quite, at first I was a bit, it was intense. I think like the first, like practical thing we did, so you have like studio practices where they have like, you know, sculpture, ceramics, painting, printmaking. The first one I did was painting, so it was like the medium I actually work in.
Used to,
totally. And it was like a whole other side of painting that I don't do, so it was like, you know, like the basics pretty much, and I realized how much I didn't know. You know what I mean?
I can paint.
I was like oh shit. Like, because painting's one of the main things like a lot of people do painting. Like it's a big practice for people.
Totally. So
like it felt competitive to a degree. Like it's not, but it felt with the teachers it was a bit like
they're expecting
something like so it was a bit like intense, but coming back to uni again after being away, everyone's so much more chill. It's quite good having that break because I feel like everybody's on the same page.
Where do you get your influence from? Like growing up, where's your first introduction to art?
Ren and Stimpy. I like my parents showed me like they should they? I don't know. It's quite an adult cartoon when you think about it. When you actually watch it,
it's
now
intense,
you're like, oh my god,
totally.
That's a fever dream.
At the time, you don't realise that.
No, you just see cool colours and shit.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that style is so.
You can see it. Like I've got a Ren and Stimpy work like somewhere over there, but one of my like main influences, definitely like in terms of growing up. Big influence. I think it's that early age sort of thing. Like that's where you gain a lot of your
your tastes and that.
Yeah.
What about your dad? Tell me about your.
Well, of course, I was influenced by him.
Yeah.
He was an animator as well, so there's that side too. Yeah. That's quite interesting because I think my style is quite different today. In terms of that, it's like I watched him doing animations when I was little. So like he had like a light box set up in the dining room, and he'd be like drawing.
What was he animating for?
He animated for him and mum had like a company. That's the one. A company together. Robot DNA.
Cool.
Both names mashed together. Worked so well. Yeah, and they did lots of stuff for different people. Like they did work for Channel V.
Cool.
And there was like a German company they did some work for as well. Yeah. There was a lot of music channel stuff. They did lots of animation for, and like mum was like a filmmaker, so that worked really well together.
Are so creative.
Yeah, and dad brought that aspect of like hand drawn, because like we've lost that quite a bit now. Yeah. Is that sort of frame by frame.
Totally.
So they were doing that a lot because
so much effort.
Yeah. It makes you insane.
Yeah.
Because prior to him, to them doing that company together, he worked for Hanna-Barbera, so he did like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
and,
well,
like, all
holy
those,
fuck.
yeah, he worked on, like, I don't know if you've ever seen Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers, but that was an old one of theirs that he worked on.
So cool.
He worked on a couple of different... He worked on this amazing film that I think everybody should see. It's called Princess and the Cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
It took them... It was like 18 years or something crazy, because the guy was such a perfectionist. He wanted it all... I think Richard Williams, that was his name. He wanted it all perfect, pretty much. He was, like, crazy, loved it.
Yeah.
But Disney took over and kind of turned it into something else, which was kind of sad. But he worked on that. It's amazing. Like, so that was definitely an influence as well.
Yeah, he's animating and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just walking through the house, you're like, oh yeah, I can totally see this. Because you have such a contemporary style, but your love and knowledge about art is really varied. You've got a lot of other many incredible painters and stuff that you are super into.
Yeah.
So tell me, like Ren and Stimpy, who else?
Hieronymus Bosch. That's good. Of course, he influenced me in terms of big scale.
Yeah.
Because I was doing little drawings.
Yeah.
And then I saw his work and I was like, love that.
Hello,
yes. I was like, that works so well, like the big scale. And it made me... It helped with my thought process as well, with what I wanted to put in there, because, like, I'm always all over the place.
Yeah, more space to
stuff,
actually
more physical space.
More physical space. You don't have to make choices anymore. Just put it all in.
It's so true. I don't even know what I'm making here. But...
I'm making a face. I'm trying to make an eyeball and then put and then put eyelids on it, but it hasn't really come out like they're eyelids. But
another tool here.
Just gonna get there.
It's sharp, but
you've got the detailing tool.
Yes,
that's what we bloody need.
Yes.
All right.
Weird eyeball going. Just mash it all together.
Mash it together, mate.
Yes.
I think mine's going to look like a Coraline thing. That's what it's going to look like, I reckon. I'm just doing a face.
Cool.
So,
yes.
One parent Lithuanian, one parent Mauritian.
Yes.
How does that influence you in your life and your art and style and all of those things? Give me a history lesson.
Sure. Well, with Mauritius is like a crazy little island. There is so many cultures there. It's actually massively Hindu.
Oh.
Yeah, huge. Like, you have, like, it's like a beach, and then you have, like, Ganesha statues in the water.
Yeah.
And there's just, like, amazing temples just, like, on the beach. I haven't been there, so I wouldn't really know. But you've got that African influence of, like, masks, like the crazy, African masks and, like, all those, like, amazing ceremonial things. So I actually looked at those for a lot of, like, the faces I was creating. Like, that one especially, up there. In terms of culture, that was the one big main sort of influence, was that sort of African culture.
Yeah.
Lithuania as well, they've got some crazy deities. They have a beer god. Yeah, but it's like you have agriculture gods.
Yeah.
It's like
with the booze.
They have like a goddess of fermentation, so that your beer is like mad. Yeah.
Shit, yeah, man. I'm missing out. That's fucking so cool.
So, and you have like I did a couple of drawings of gods. One called Pinchukas. He's like a little devil. It means like mischievous and stuff. So I actually, when I was starting to do this style, it was very much so cultural, because I was looking at both
those references.
Yeah, and it was mainly like to do with like sort of tradition and artifacts to do with tradition as well. So like the masks and like the old pictures of weird Lithuanian gods. Yeah, definitely.
When did you start doing this style?
So it was actually during my HSC.
So pretty recently.
Yeah, so that was it was like the year going into my HSC. Mm-hmm. So it was 2017, I think halfway through 2017. I was always drawing, but I was so stuck. I didn't have like a style that I liked, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
what am I gonna do?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then just started looking at, like, as we were talking about before, the cultural aspect. Yeah. And that was a big influence, because it gave me something to draw, I think. Totally. I was like copying that, and then I kept over exaggerating things, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
So cool.
Like,
that's
working, and I always have loved colour. Yeah. Like, I'm just crazy about colour, as you can see. Yeah. Couldn't have guessed. Yes.
1 to 9.
So, yeah, that was definitely a big part of, like for HSC, because we had to figure out as well. It was quite demanding.
They really expect you to know who you are at such a young age as an artist. At such a young age.
I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, it's your,
It's your HSC.
It's your leading up to this. Like, what
are you going to do? Be an artist? I don't know.
And they're like, well, it's, so I was kind of stuck on that for a bit, but I just sort of stopped caring and just started drawing what I felt like, and started looking at history books, and just sort of stumbled upon my own culture and just kept drawing from that, and I don't really take from that as much now. Yeah, definitely.
What do you feel like your biggest influences that you do take from now when you're creating work?
Mainly my brain.
Yeah.
Just all the weird, it's so strange because like a lot of people look at my work and they're like, what does it mean? Like, what are you drawing? And it's like, well, like, it's just from
your brain, it's your thoughts.
Yeah.
I was told you had contemplated that your artworks were maybe a manifestation of like...
Oh, is it the dermoid?
Yeah. Is that... Are you still feeling that? What's going on? Tell me about that, please. Moving on. Okay.
Awareness.
Totally. Yeah. How do you want me to ask you about it? How do you best want it to be approached?
It's just talking about my own work. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I like talking about it, but I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
Being a bird skull, but...
I put some weird cheeks on this.
He's so cute. Yeah, with the dermoid thing, they're super strange.
Yeah.
So I have like horrible pain.
Yeah.
And if you have horrible pain, you should go get it checked.
Yeah, amen.
It's not like normal. Well, it shouldn't be seen as like, oh,
yeah, you're not crazy. Yeah.
You'll be fine. It's like, well, there's so many like problems with females that like female health that get looked over.
Yeah.
Heaps. They just don't like. They don't look further into it. They just sort of go, oh yeah, you're fine for now.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
You're fine for now. Anyway, I had horrible pain and like had to go get like ultrasounds and stuff for it, and they found this thing and it runs in my family and they're called dermoids, and they're like excess skin and teeth, and it's like these weird like cell balls pretty much. Yeah.
Like
they
teeth.
actually grow, like it's all this excess cell. I actually don't really know how to, like, I can't really explain it very scientifically, but
it's a mass.
It's a mass, of excess like cells that form on the cyst, and when you get them removed, they have like hair, teeth, skin.
It's a person.
It's like a weird,
My friend's got one she keeps in a jar on a mantelpiece. She calls it Harry.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we were joking, because my mum had one.
Yeah.
And we were joking that I probably have one as well, and we were like, oh, it's like your dermoid speaks to you because it looks
like that.
Yeah.
Like teeth.
Like it looks like that.
Hair and skin. That is fucking scary.
I know. I was so tripped out when I stupidly. Well, not stupidly, but I looked up pictures because I was like, what does it look like? And I was like, I've named it Estelle.
Estelle. Fuck you, Estelle.
Fuck you, Estelle. Yeah. Because I figured that Estelle sounded like such a bitchy name.
It kind of does.
But then it also sounds like a cell. So I was like,
science.
Science.
Puns. Dermoid puns.
Dermoid puns, yes. So.
Hectic.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking
crazy.
Insane.
It was a bit of a trip out, honestly, because I was like looking at it and I was like, the teeth got me. It was mainly out of everything, the teeth.
Yeah.
Some of them, well, I don't know if it was dermoids, but some of them develop weird looking things that look like eyeballs. Weird little gremlins on your ovary causing you all this shit. Anyway. Yeah, so that's another influence. If I ever get it removed, I do want to keep it in a jar. Like Harry.
Like Harry. Fuck you, Estelle. It's insane, the whole, like, not letting you make the decisions around what you're going to do about that and stuff. I don't want to give away your age, but you're not at the age where they'd be willing to let you cut out your ovaries, which is fucking bullshit.
Unless it's,
and not
like,
anybody else's
life-threatening.
Yeah, totally.
Which is, like...
Cunts. What cunts? What fucking cunts?
Yeah.
Assholes.
Even for, like, women to go and, like, get, even when they're older, or, like, even if they just don't want kids and they have issues, to go and get all of it just out.
You just can't.
you have to apparently, I don't know if it's in Australia, someone fact check me on it, but apparently you have to have like a male or like a partner with you to make it more like a decision based around having children rather than your actual health.
Just autonomy and health.
Yeah. Which made me pissed off to hear. I was like, girl, no.
What can I ask you that's going to make you cry even more? How gross is capitalism? Wait, are you recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a clap.
Hey.
How gross is capitalism?
Disgusting.
Yeah, right?
Disgusting.
Scale of 1 to 10, how gross?
Oh, girl, I'll give it a 9 maybe.
Give it a good 9.
Yeah. I don't want to be too much. Like, 10.
Yeah.
Like,
But
no,
at
I'll
least
be honest and real. Yeah.
At least
a bit of a 9. Yeah.
Yeah, we do like, some bling.
I would like some money.
Yeah.
So
you can't
like,
complete 10, but
yeah, like there's a little bit of room.
But 9.
But 9.
But 9.
Yeah.
Capitalism's a fucking bitch. On the same vein,
yes.
What do you think needs to change in our world, in our system, in your experience?
With like just with life.
Social life.
Fucking everything, girl.
Yeah.
I think everybody should become social workers.
So
good at de-escalating shit. Because that's the problem.
Yeah, escalation.
Yeah, with everything.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, with the whole, fuck cops thing going on, sorry.
No. ACAB.
But, like, there's a reason for it. And it's the problem with everything.
Exactly.
There's a problem with, like, it's to do with government and everything as well.
Yeah.
It's just not being able to, it's fear.
Yeah. Didn't come out of nowhere.
So much fear. Just people. That's humans.
Yeah.
So much fear.
Totally. I think that's stoked as well. Like, especially in neoliberal kind of government styles like we've got, they stoke that fear and then it just gets made worse for everyone. And then here we are, creatives, hating life. Dickheads, man. We're just trying to paint. That's all we want.
Like that. We've always, creators have always just been like,
life.
Fed up with everything.
Yeah.
Done with everything. That was one thing when you do art history and theory. Yeah. No one was having a good time.
Yeah.
No creatives were having a good time.
Everybody was in the shit.
Yes. They're all just like,
yeah.
fuck.
Everybody was
all
questioning the existence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say Picasso, but whatever. But like,
Ew.
but like, good example of just somebody that like pushed the boundary or whatever, and being like well sick of the expectation to make like precise, perfect type of realism.
He was a full on. As a child, like a 12-year-old, he was a master draftsman.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable work.
It's crazy.
Stuff that you would take years to be able to get to that level, but he was there already, so it's really interesting to see his work as like a 12-year-old.
Manifesting, but have you ever considered a clothing line? And if you haven't, you should.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So what's really interesting? Yeah. Going back to art school.
Yeah, please.
I did printmaking there.
Yeah.
For like 3 weeks. And they were showing us, like, how you can pretty much print on so many things. And we do screen printing there.
Sick.
Which I'm very, very keen on doing. But it made me think about clothing, definitely. Because it was such a great way of putting your designs down, and it really suited the style I have. With like
absolutely.
Bold colour. And then you go in like layering. Yeah, it's
so cool.
That's how I do it. And like you could see with like this, like I sort of start layering up.
Yeah.
It gets to that.
Eventually,
but you go in like layers. Yeah. So I feel like that would work really well with like making clothing designs.
I'm gonna put a monobrow on this thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've just been. What's nice? Like it's cracking a little bit.
Yeah,
so it looks like
cracking.
A skull.
Yeah, you've really got some aesthetic happening here. I've just got like a.
I don't know what to do with this eye though. Maybe it'll be a little hat. Oh, maybe I'll make it into like a little fruit bowl. That's very hieronymus, Josh. Yes.
And you can have this head.
Actually, I'll
this
like
weird little head.
I'll like start doing.
All right. So, do you think that your work reflects anything subconscious? Have you realized anything through experiencing your own art as a viewer?
So a lot of it, it's really interesting actually. I used to get horrible sleep paralysis as a kid. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've tapped into that a lot because it's like. This bitch goes again.
It's the waterworks. It's the water. We're a water world, okay?
Sea World.
Fuck Sea World.
I know, it can't. There's a lot of influence with sleep. Yeah. Especially. And dream. And actually, now that I think about it, these were all based off sleep paralysis. Yeah. So, you know, like, with sleep paralysis, you get that heaviness on your chest, and a lot of people say it's like that weird, like, it's like a demon sitting on you.
Yeah, I hate that feeling.
There's a lot of influence of that.
What's that beautiful painting? What's that?
I actually I think I have a little cutout of it somewhere.
You know the one I'm talking about with the gargoyle dude on the
and
chest.
She's like, it's by,
I love that painting.
What's his name? Henry, she's failing art school. I can't remember. We know the one though.
We know the painting.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Love that painting.
100%.
So it's very based on that sort of that sort of vibe.
Yeah, it's just like, because you can't really with like the sleep paralysis thing.
Yeah. Do you want to address first? Why do you find it so hard to talk about your art, or why do you think you find it so hard to talk about your art?
I hadn't thought about that.
Sorry. Just opening up new doorways for you.
Yeah. It's an intervention. I'm not too sure, actually. I feel like it's got something to do with, well, I'm horribly anxious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
As we all are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've always felt like I'm very, like, you know, like, I'm this and that. Like, yeah, I'm, like, really, like, intense about stuff and, like, really, like, happy with myself. But also, I think it's quite personal. Yeah. And I don't even know what I'm, like, doing half the time with it. So, like, I look at it sometimes and it doesn't feel like it's necessarily come from this person. So, like, I don't really understand it. Yeah.
And so it's just confronting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. More so than anything. Yeah.
It's really good.
Thanks.
Sorry that
whoever's doing it is doing a great job.
Totally, yeah. Whatever person
doing
there,
is doing a mad job. I just don't. Estelle.
Yeah, fucking Estelle, that bitch.
I think that's why I struggle to talk about it, because I don't actually understand it fully. Yeah. Like, I smash these artworks out and, like, I have an idea of, like, where it's coming from and stuff.
Yeah,
but
what you want it to look like.
And what I want it to look like, and, like, aesthetic-wise, but like, in a sort of personal sense, not really.
Yeah, totally. Like, it comes from somewhere, but you just
I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
That's sort of what it is.
I think that's a mission that a lot of artists spend a while
100%.
trying to figure out. Years. And if ever. You know,
exactly.
Which I think is not to make that, you know.
No.
Ooh, you might never figure it out.
But, you're going to be crying at your artwork forever.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel like that. But I think it is a common struggle.
100%. Yeah.
I know that if somebody was on, we flipped this right now and somebody was like, tell me quite seriously about your thoughts about your art, I'd be like,
yeah.
I don't know any, I'm failed.
It's that weird feeling that you get from that sometimes. But it's important to think about it.
Totally.
Because then you can slowly sort of understand, because you forget that, like, art comes from, like, a point of, like, your subconscious.
It's your
it's
soul.
All of it. It's, like, all the data you've collected.
Totally.
Over, you know, the amount of years you've been on Earth. It's all stored in your brain. Yeah. And you kind of forget that, and you don't really tap into it that much.
Until you're painting.
Or you're dreaming or whatever. And that's sort of what I was trying to get out of it, is, like, the subconscious. Like, it's something that's, like, you don't know the entire depth of it. So when you're painting, I feel like it's a similar aspect to when you're dreaming about something.
It's just intaking information.
Yeah. It's pulling out random things you've seen or heard or whatever and putting it on a canvas. And I think that's really hard to sort of get an idea of sometimes, because you don't necessarily know what it is, because you can't really figure out a source of it, I guess. Yeah. With the sleep paralysis thing, though, that's the one thing I felt was maybe a influence of it to do with what you were asking. Because I used to get it every night as a child. You're awake but you can't move, and you can stay, and you're still in the dream state, so you see weird things. So I would see weird shit, like what I'm painting, to a degree. So that's sort of, like, a lot of stuff I've, like, based off, like, weird sleep paralysis experiences. Like, so, like, a lot of these ones I've named, like, different weird things just to do with that. And, like, but that's, like, one sort of way of looking into it.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
And you're an Escher fan as well, which I think is
yeah. That's one I forgot to like mention.
Yeah.
With you, but yeah, he's cool as.
Yeah, fucking so sick.
Yeah.
So detailed.
Yeah.
I know, man.
I wish I could be that detailed.
So,
Maybe one day, but it's
so good.
Kind of too much. Like, I don't know how.
Well, the concept of being able to achieve that in a lifetime, like, he must have been, like, he must have been alive for a couple hundred years.
100%, yeah.
And it's, like, fucks me up.
Same.
Fucks me up.
I look at it and I'm like,
girl.
Where did you get that from?
Alright, so, 2 more questions.
Yes.
Firstly, tell me about your love for Greek mythology and your tattoo plan of Daphne and Apollo.
Yes! So, I actually heard the Daphne and Apollo story on the first orientation day of art school, because they were sort of talking about what we were going to look at, and we were going to look at Greek sculpture and stuff. And always loved Greek mythology. I had, like, one of those, like, you know, like when you were kids, they had those books, like, Dragonology, and...
I had all of those books.
Yeah, I had the mythology one. It was like blue and really pretty. Yeah, I had that one, and I always really loved it. But I hadn't looked at a lot of the art based off that until like going into NAS, and they did a little presentation on Greek sculpture, and they showed Apollo and Daphne by Bernini, and it's just unbelievable. Like, it's like capturing a moment in the story where it's like Apollo, he's, you know, god of music and all that. And you could say in some stories they're like, oh, he's a bit, you know, I'm better than you.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. He's always bragging about his talents and how he's powerful through his ability to create and perform and all that, and that it like reflects in, you know, his beauty and all, you know, all that sort of shit that they spiel on about. And he's like bragging to Cupid. He's going like, you know, I'm stronger than you. Like I can do more shit than you. You know, and Cupid's like, okay, we'll see about that. And like Cupid, he like dips he gets 2 arrows, and he dips one in gold and shoots it into Apollo's heart, and he dips one in lead. And there's this, like, nearby, like, forest, and there's this forest nymph named Daphne. And she's walking by, and he shoots the lead one into her heart. And so what happens is Apollo becomes, like, because he's got the golden one, he becomes, like, overwhelmed with love for Daphne. But Daphne has this lead thing in her, and so she becomes absolutely disgusted by Apollo. Just like, what is this man? Like, get him away. And he's just, like, overwhelmed. And so, like, this chase begins, because she's like, yuck, he's, like, coming after me. Ew. You know, creepy man from the pub vibe. Let's run.
Get out of here.
And so, like, she's, like, they, like, have this, like, chase through the forest. It's, like, really cool. And she's, like, running away, and he's like, no, like, what the fuck, come back. And then oh my god, she gets to the edge of a river, and her father's like a river god. She yells out to him, Dad, if you really care about me, you'll turn me into a tree right now to get away from this gross man. So she like starts turning into a tree, and Apollo catches up. He's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. She's finally stopped. Ew, you know, like being super creepy, and like goes to touch her, and she's like all bark. And like turning into this like tree. And she actually turned into a bay leaf tree, or the bay laurel. You know, like with the Olympics, how they have the wreaths? That's where it comes from. So Apollo is associated with the Olympics and stuff, and because like this woman he was after turned into this tree before his eyes, and he couldn't like be with her, the way of like showing achievements is the leaves from the bay laurel.
That is so beautiful.
So I want to get that statue, like here, I think. This is cute. His little hat. Oh, he's so sweet.
He's got a little, I put some texture there.
He's very handsome.
There's a little moustache and a little eye.
Should have kept tissues nearby.
Damn.
I always forget that I'm gonna cry like every single time I
didn't know. Like, I knew that we'd talk about some shit, but like I didn't know that it would affected you that much, and I wish I did know that, because I would have been heaps more sensitive.
No, it's fine. I'm not really that like affected by it in the end. I'm always like this. So I'm like,
what is actually super fucking endearing, I think it's going to be really endearing.
Yeah.
You know, just honesty and...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a creative, dude. Be real. Like, it isn't easy to express yourself all the time.
No. With creatives in general, fuck. If you're expressing yourself all the time, like, you're going to have that up there all the time as well. So it's just readily available.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, that emotion is readily available.
Yeah, and, like, it's the thing is, like, other artists understand.
Yeah.
People that don't necessarily do art don't necessarily understand. Like, they go, well, like, why are you having this reaction to it? Like, why are you crying? Like, oh my God, like, I can't handle that. And it's like, well, like, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, totally.
It's
Little
great.
do they realise how brave artists have to be constantly to be able to be honest about their work.
You're literally putting a piece of, like, yourself on a canvas.
On display.
Putting it out there, and then people even critique that.
Like, how dare they?
Let's be honest at how... I find that kind of perverse.
Yeah.
Like, actually, like, being honest. I find that really, really damaging. I know a lot of people might disagree with me or whatever, and that's okay, but I find it really horribly damaging to artists already.
I think there comes a line where, like, you know, when you're wanting to learn a specific medium or something and you're learning about the techniques, like, that's different.
That's different.
But in terms of, like
publishing in a magazine and shit, like, full on, you know, like, fuck, you know, like, where they do the Archibald and they, like, write all this shit.
Totally, and people want to say mean shit. Like, I don't understand it.
It's because, like, you know, it's such a personal thing.
Totally.
Like, in all aspects, it's such a personal thing.
Oh,
so
I totally agree.
That's, like, one, actually, you know, you were asking me before, what would you change about the world now? Yeah, art critique, like, negative critiquing shouldn't be published.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I
exactly.
Agree. Fuck the critique. Fuck the bad critiques.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, are we done?
Yeah.